Yay! I'm so happy to be making my first storytime video, where I'll be drawing my Sona a bunch of times, but I won't get like sick of the design at the end. Like, no. I've drawn my Sona so many times before this. What? Okay, so the last time I made a proper video, it was a relatively short storytime. It was my first time doing a storytime, so I didn't register back in the beginning that I'll be drawing my Sona for like many times. I mean, before, I was just solely an illustration maker, only one drawing per few days, and now to no surprise, I'm having a hard time with suddenly making many frames telling only one action. I can't even fathom what it's like making manga. Hello? Oh. But after finishing that video, I felt kind of bored with my Sona's design. I mean, it's not that it's bad. I quite like it since I haven't changed it in a while, and it has all the features I like, which I'll talk about in a second. But mostly, I felt bored because I felt like plastering this design on a sort of colored or empty void of a background didn't suit how I wanted to be seen on social media. And I saw all the other art YouTubers have cool shiny color and moving pictures, and I want that too! So, this video will be of my process of how I designed this new Sona, and technically my channel's new look. But, before I even touch a blank canvas with my pen, I need to take a look at what my theme will be.
What do you mean?
Well, fellow star, I mean, how do I want to showcase my Sona? Basically me. And what will make me stand out from other similar themed creatures. I mean, creators. My Sona before was mostly themed alien. You know, with antennas, big ears, big eyes, etc. Oh, and stars. Lots of stars. And a bit of jester, because of the outfit. I like jesters. There's many creators out there with many very cool alien designs, so now I need to make a new design that will stand out in a way that also embraces who I am. So in a group of all alien, someone can pinpoint and say,
"Hey, it's Vince with stars."
So of course, I won't be leaving my theme of alien anytime soon. But I'll still mix it up with the jester theme, because I'm just a silly little guy. I like funky, silly moving creatures. So before I start any designing ideas, I gotta first save in my brain files what features I would like to keep from my old design, since this isn't like a whole complete makeover of the redesign, just partially. First things first, I'll be keeping the long hair, especially being white, some type of antennas with stars at the end of them, drooping sad eyes, and sort of poofy outfit, because I like drawing characters that have like a lot of fabric, which is technically just a description of my old Sona, but don't think about it, don't think about it. While sketching my Sona here, the brain juices were already coming up with many ideas of what could be what in my new design. Plus, it's not just my Sona, it's also the entire look of the channel, and also how my little star buddy I have around will look like. They also need a little outfit that will match with me, you know? I noticed an often pattern in my old design that I never sticked with one way I drew my Sona, which could be the reason why I struggled drawing them a lot. My Sona before resembled more how I looked like in real life, with sometimes when I remember moles in the face that look like mine in real life. I also kept struggling with remembering if they had ears or not. It's like sometimes they exist, and sometimes they just don't. It threw the design's balance off all the time. Plus, I always drew them in ruffles to show that they are more like gesterly-like. But let me tell you, it's so difficult to draw over and over and over and still look the same. No. But yes, the features/themes I'll be keeping and basing my Sona off of is what I love most, which is alien plus stars and jester. Just those three. Oh. Yeah, actually, that's not really true. I mean, not entirely true. But no, listen, don't worry. My Sona first wasn't just jester and alien. There's more.
There's more.
The last one was owl! As you see in the designing time-lapse, I write down my themes, which was alien, jester, and owl. In the beginning, I was hoping to include more owl into the design. Like my first ideas were bird legs, which honestly would have been a very fun drawing exercise to draw burb. You know, sweet little bird claws. But I realized that may overcomplicate the design a bit and turn it into a sort of melting clump of a creature, so I didn't go with that idea. But if future me drew my Sona more as an owl burb, then editor Vincent, put it here. But hey, I still love owls, since they're basically bird hardware with cat software, and I would have loved to have bird legs, but I'm an alien in my heart. Though, that doesn't mean I didn't add little owl elements instead, but I won't point out which elements until later. Hoo. Get it? So for the designing itself, at first I was kind of stumped. I mean, there's so many jester-themed outfits that I could take inspiration from. Like, do I want more sad jester or more hyper? Is it more like silly, entertaining king kinda guy? Or did I just come out of a carnival circus? Plus, I also had to work around my Sona's hair, since it's incredibly long, which will most likely cover any type of back part of the design. I knew some elements I wanted to have though, which is this big waist fabric that drags down to the floor. I don't know what it's called, but I drew the same one-ish on my D&D Sona last year, and I've been in love with this piece of clothing ever since. And yes, our marriage will be soon. From the sketch, it looked like I had a set idea of how I wanted the outfit to look like, which in some way is true. In my sketchbook, I did draw some little doodles of my Sona with this sharp but short cape. I thought it looked magical and like gestury since it's so sharp, so I was trying to combine it with the design as well. My little star buddy also has a little cape, or at least I usually draw them with some type of fabric, and if we both had the same matching cape, it would be so cute. Overall, here are just some concept sketches of me trying to get the overall shape of how I want my Sona to look like, putting ideas down basically. Maybe could have explored more, but I was pretty pleased with myself. I was still struggling with the outfit though. Maybe it was the cape itself, I don't know. So I decided to instead focus my attention on the face features. I'm an alien, like I've mentioned so I wanted to emphasize that by giving myself big orbs of eyes, and make them more dramatically droop down, since I kind of have drooped eyes in real life. I'm not sure, but I like it. Also, here you can see one of the owl elements I included. Can you see it? Probably not, maybe. But it's the mouth! Since I didn't want to just plop a beak on this very alien-like creature, I instead made a little V in the middle, mimicking what looks like a beak. But I can't take the credit for this idea. It was actually my friend's drawing that gave this idea of how they drew my Sona with how anime girls have cat proportions, but instead my Sona has owl proportions. And it's so cute! My inspiration for the type of alien I am is like the typical norm of how aliens look like in media. Think of the alien emoji. Well, maybe not the alien emoji, but just alien, but without being green. So the anatomy will look roughly the same as before. One noticeable thing I changed from my last Sona to this one is the look of the antennas and the tail. Before they were just sticks, lines with stars at the end of them, and now I made them more fleshy, so you can see where they start from my head. I also included a mask. In the beginning, it was gonna be an owl mask, because I was still trying to make my Sona look more like an owl, or to include more owl elements, but I decided to switch it to look more like my little star buddy for lore purposes. What I can say is that this guy is like the creator of the little guys, in which I mean built, as one like a doll, not birthed. He did not birth any stars. By now, I think I've decided how the outfit looks like. I don't know how to write a script to a time-lapse, so I'm just guessing, but the outfit looks more fancy. I added this sort of chain, which is not actually a chain, attached on either side of the cape, and also gave big flowy pants, which I may or may not switch between this and or the skin-tight pants version. I'm still figuring it out. You could write down in the comments and tell me which one looks better. I'm indecisive. I might just choose between and see which one sticks more, I guess. The colors of this design are no surprise to people who know me. It's purple and yellow! What a surprise! But I did change them slightly. Before I had more saturated purple, orange, and yellow. Really good combo of colors, I must say. But I really despise the orange. Ironic, as I always drew it with my Sona. So I'm throwing the orange away, and I tried to see if I can implement more purple into the design. I do love yellow, but ooh, purple. I could drown in it. But not just any type of purple. I mean the perfect amount of blue and purple. Perfect balance. But in some way that has made me more colorblind towards dark shaded blue. Because now I think that maybe the blue looks more like purple? I don't know. In the end, I think I succeeded with having purple and yellow as the main accents, and then the rest mostly white. I remember that for the skin color, I said to myself in the very beginning, I'm not gonna make my skin color yellow. And in the end, I did just that. But I did break it up with a little bit of purplish gradient and dark purple on the ends of my fingers, or I guess, no, my whole hands. Gradients is hard to animate, I guess. Feet, start of my neck, and ears. Yes, that means I am barefooted. Hehe. This is also for lore purposes, in which I will point out that the little star cutout on my shirt is actually where the darkened outline of the star is. But, something I overlooked, and only took me later to realize, which other character also had this gradient element on their fingers. Because I'm obsessed with this creature now, I went straight into understanding how its emotions look like. For now, I've narrowed it down to 9-ish emotes, may change later, which are default talking, happy, excited, angry, sad, scuffed, and shocked. If I've missed any emotes, editor Vincent put it on screen. during this process of understanding my Sonos expressions also led me to a whole other problem, which was what was up with my hair. I wouldn't say my hair is difficult, it's not a big issue, it's a fairly simple sort of jellyfish haircut. But for some reason I couldn't put the side swoop strands to look good. It was off balance, as if my head would just fall on one side. But it was a quick fix. After drying the hair again, and again, and again, to what it looks like now. I've split it into 3 to 4 main parts. The main bangs, the back hair swoops, the extra side swoops, and then the back. I mean, since this video is out, you've already seen these emotes during this video, so there isn't much to comment on them. But there is one thing. The stars and the antennas change depending on what mood I am. So if I'm sad, they become droopy, melting. If I'm angry, they become spiky. And when I'm excited, they become detailed with more passion. I had a similar thing happen to my old designer's antennas. So when I was feeling upset, the antenna's line would scrunch up. It is nice visually to see what emotion I'm feeling, as I don't understand mine in real life. But of course, this isn't for all emotions. There's way too many emotions for me to understand, so we're just keeping to the basics. For my final change, it's the main background, and what I'll include more in my videos. Not like what the content is. I already stated in my first video that I'll be making art-related videos, like story times and animation memes, but of course I'm not limited to only those options. Here I'm talking more like visually what it will have. I have been very inspired and really love when 2D and 3D pictures are combined in some way that makes it look cohesive, like example Madoka, or that animation meme Falling Town with the theater and cardboard cutouts, or like Ina, since it has a good mix of 2D and 3D animation, or Shadow Milk and its Jester Theater. You know, the list is long, but you get the idea. So, I did more sketchbooking on ideas. As you see, I didn't draw too many variations again, but mostly because I had a vision of how it would look like. As you see, there's a pattern that I really wanted curtains, which I will make an animation of them closing and opening, because it would be so cool if I use it for like transitions or something. You know, I may be an alien, but I still have that pizzazz of silly jester in my veins. The backgrounds, as I've illustrated in my sketchbook, will change depending on what my video theme might be, as it's like cardboard cutouts in the background. So if the video is about hurting, there might be a band-aid cutout. But regularly, it's just gonna be this one with the starship, which I also need to redesign. It's too round and needs sharp, but of course not in this video. I'll still experiment with different variations on how the default one looks like, so don't be surprised if in the near future I change and move things around, or add other elements that aren't shown here. I have freedom to change. But yeah, that was the video. You now know more You now know a lot more about who I am, unless you've been in my walls this entire time. Overall, I made a lot more animations this video than my last. Yippee! Also, it's a lot longer, which I must say I'm quite proud of. Small achievement, but that's good. It shows that with each video, I'll get better and better. This video was also really nice to make, as I'm finally showing the little goober that's been playing in my brain, and fulfilling my childhood dreams of making videos. And now, thank you so much for watching. Hope you have a starry night, and bye-bye!